Hi, welcome back to Masterpiece. We were talking about if a beautiful painting of the potato eaters here, if the table was an altar, if the room is a church, if Van Gogh was religious at all, or if he used symbolism in his work. Well, we know for a fact that Van Gogh tried to be a priest, but failed in his early youth. But he did keep many of his religious beliefs for the rest of his life. It is no surprise to find him so nerve-edging sensitive in the potato eaters. It is the way the painting grips your attention, pulls you into its darkness. It cries out to us and disturbs our comfort zone. The inability to be in control is frightening at any given time, but in the potato eaters, it is resolute. The peasants in the picture have no rights or liberties. They are serfs and are considered inhuman. They do not control their destinies. Their owners do. The complex use of gaunt shadows and dim lighting effects only serve to emphasize one other thing: Van Gogh's own unstable human relationships and inability to control his own life. Potato Eaters is by far a masterful work of art because it serves as a confession. It does this with stealth and subterfuge, showing an understanding of human nature. It does this with psychological penetration, using the phantom silhouette on the foreground to powerful effect, with all the connotations and meanings of its presence. Using a seamless, wiry line of tattered brushstrokes, smears, and marks, Van Gogh accentuates the smeared and tattered lives of these potato eaters. Now we've come to our third prerequisite of what makes a masterpiece, and it is the provocative. It's the last one. There are so many things in life which provoke. Everywhere you go outside, you're provoked. Something exciting is happening, something loud is happening, something's going by at a tremendous speed. Cars, buses, subways, whatever you want. There's provocations everywhere. Suddenly you see someone you know that you didn't expect to see in the street. There are provocations everywhere. So why would art be any different? In art, to be provocative, you must have something to provoke with. A special message, perhaps, or an idea. There must be something coming around the corner, something unexpected, something so exciting it breaks new ground. The boat is rocked, and everything is changed forever. There is a temporary flux and much fuss, a new force pushing everything known before to new heights. Such a provocation is generated by an artist or group of artists who usually claim a new artistic movement. The Impressionists did it, and so did the Cubists. The Surrealists did it, the Fauvists, and the Minimalists. All these movements are identified by a unique way of looking at the world. Their signature is usually a bold, inventive style or specific statement. Each movement contributes to the history of art and ensures its progress. All are a provocation to see, experience, and in a way that has not been possible before. To be provocative is to invent a new way of provoking. So there are even ways of provoking provocations. It's getting complicated here. It is tempting fate to take giant strides into unknown territory, creating something unique to the senses. It eventually becomes an international movement and spreads around the world. Having said this, what provokes us in Van Gogh's The Potato Eaters? The painting even looks old-fashioned. There's no sense of something new to discover. It does not set off fireworks or seem to influence the status quo. In fact, for a long time after it was painted, it never caused a stir. No one noticed its real content or took the time to analyze it for what it was worth. It just hovered in limbo, as did so many other paintings Van Gogh did during his lifetime. When looking at the Potato Eaters, we are not immediately convinced this is a revolutionary painting. But it is. It begins with an enigma behind its enticing mystery. It's all about revolution. The revolution starts with Van Gogh himself. With this painting, he is saying, I want to change the world. The Potato Eaters is a new kind of provocation, so subtle that it passes by right in front of us without us noticing. It is a testament to Van Gogh's genius that he could achieve this with such understated aplomb. He knows what the Potato Eaters is all about and knows where he wants to take it. It slices through protocol and a political correct agenda. It carves its way to the important aspect, to the acts of injustice, poverty, and social hypocrisy. I suppose that is why the painting is seen as ugly by most people. It's busy reminding us of our social and political failures. It drives home how indifferent and heartless we can be at any given moment. Only a callous society would allow people like these potato eaters to exist, would it not? The Potato Eaters entices people to see it challenging the status quo. It may not have started a new movement in art, but it enriched and shocked it with the language of attrition. We see our naked selves in the Potato Eaters, and we do not like it. Our selfishness and greed are exposed. The painting comes off as a hemorrhage. It is not a pretty picture and not a welcome message. Another factor also enters the equation of the Potato Eaters, that of the narrative painting, the painting that tells a story. The narration is an origins story. It takes us back to prehistoric times. It takes us to a time when groups of hominids gathered around campfires telling stories. It was a haunted time filled with the fear of darkness, predators, and disease. Mortality was high. There was not much time to live a life. Whatever was reenacted around these fires, it was sure to be important to the small population of hunter-gatherers. The stories spoke of great deeds by great individuals who once lived and now had become legends. Many had become gods and were worshipped. It was the importance of the story which helped develop a collective conscience among the tribes. These myths bound people together to create civilizations. They were the first cultural vehicle of expression for the collective conscience of an entire race. There is no question as to the pivotal influence storytelling had on subsequent generations. The narration is just as important today because our complex society is made up of thousands of stories told and reenacted through the internet, mass media, cinema, and theater. A narrative painting is a vehicle of expression and a way to pass on knowledge simultaneously. Van Gogh brought it to new heights. By using psychological penetration, he was able to strip away pretenses and charades to reveal individuals starkly naked and raw, vulnerable, and very exposed. He is spinning a myth about a small, poor group of people who once sat down to dinner and were visited by an angel. What the consequences of their meeting or its outcome was, we will never know. Van Gogh has fixated on the moment the apparition appears to them. We can only assume they are so busy eating they have not noted the angel's presence. The angel has come to bear tidings of hope that their suffering will end. She is a symbol of resurrection because we can see the angel while they cannot. We want to shout out to them the good news. We get involved in the drama. The would-be pastor has turned into a prophet. We'll continue with this fascinating story and expressing ourselves this way on the next Masterpiece session.